Lesson 5-2, solving multi-step inequalities. So we've already done solving one-step inequalities. This is the next stage and where you're just doing more than one step. So how do we do this? Step one, you need to isolate the variable term on one side of the inequality using addition or subtraction. And then your final step would be to multiply or divide to get the variable by itself. So it's no different than solving a multi-step equation. The only difference is the answer, instead of having an equal sign, it's going to have an inequality symbol. So first example, Susie wants to self-publish her comic book. One printing company offers to publish the book for a $220 flat rate plus $3 per copy of the book. Her maximum budget is $400. So we need to write an inequality. So it says her maximum budget is $400. That means she can spend $400, but not more than. So that would be less than or equal to. There's a printing company that has a flat rate of $220, so $220 plus a rate of $3 per copy. So I'm going to use C for copy. That would be now we just need to solve. So we need to get 3C by itself. So I'm going to subtract 220 on both sides, and I'm now left with 3C is less than or equal to 400 minus 220 gives us 180. To get C by itself, the opposite of multiplying is dividing by 3. I would have C is less than or equal to 60. Now I could write this as set builder notation. If I were to do set builder notation, it would be C such that C is less than or equal to 60. But for me, I'm not real picky with that. If you want to just write as C is less than or equal to 60, that's fine. Or if you want set builder notation, then you can write it like that. Next example, Joel has $40 to buy tickets to a performance for himself and his friends. If he buys a $10 membership, he can buy tickets for $5 each. How many tickets can he buy while remaining within his budget? So part A, if X represents the number of tickets from all purchases, write an inequality that represents the situation. So he has $40 to spend. He cannot spend more than that. That'd be less than or equal to 40. If he buys a $10 membership, so he has a $10 membership, plus he can buy tickets for $5 each. So that'd be 10 plus 5t is less than or equal to 40. Second part is solve that. So we have 10 plus 5t is less than or equal to 40. Get the 5t by itself by subtracting 10 on both sides, and I get 5t is less than or equal to 30. Divide by 5. The number of tickets has to be less than or equal to 6. Next example, while building a computer with a power supply that can handle up to 850 watts. So up to means no more than, that'd be less than or equal to 850. Maya needs to determine the number of hard drives she can add. Without any hard drives, the computer uses a maximum of 750 watts. She knows that each hard drive will use at most 25 watts. So part A, if X represents the number of hard drives Maya adds to her computer build, write an inequality that represents the situation. So for this one, she's using a computer that without a hard drive can handle up to 750 plus at most 25 watts without a hard drive. So I'm going to use H for hard drive, 25 per hard drive, and it can handle up to, so no more than 850 watts. So now we need to find so that would be our inequality that we would use. Now we need to solve that. So we had 750 plus 25H is less than or equal to 850. Solve, I subtract 750 on both sides. That leaves us with 25h is less than or equal to 100. Get h by itself by dividing by 25. The number of hard drives has to be less than or equal to 4. Example 2. Consider the inequality the opposite of a number divided by 2 minus 17 is less than 7. We need to translate that sentence into an inequality. So the opposite of a number just means from positive to negative. So the opposite of a number would be n. So I'm going to use negative n divided by 2. So if I divide that by 2, minus 17 is, in math means equals, less than 7. Is less than 7, so is would be less than, is less than 7. Part B, we need to solve that. So the first thing I would do here is add 17 to both sides. And I would have, I'll put this over here, negative n divided by 2 is less than 17 plus 7 is 24. To get n by itself, I'm going to multiply this by, 2. And now I have negative n is less than 48. Divide this by negative 1. Because I'm dividing by a negative number, I would have n is now greater than negative 48. Now we graph it on a number line. We have negative 48 here. Open circle because it cannot equal it. Greater than means to the right, so greater than negative 48. Next, translate the sentence into inequality. The opposite of a number, actually that one we just did. We solved that one, so we graphed it. So let's go to our second example. Translate this one into an inequality. So 3 plus 5 times a number is less than or equal to 13. So I just wrote it exactly the way they stated it. So now I solve, next part is to solve it. So we have 3 plus 5n is less than or equal to 13. To solve it, I'm going to subtract 3, and I have 5n is less than or equal to 10. Divide everything by 5, and I'm left with n is less than or equal to 2. Then we're going to graph that. N is less than or equal to 2. Put a 2 here. It can equal 2. It has to be less than, so it goes to the left. Next, solve the inequality and graph it on a number line. So first thing I need to do is distribute, so I get rid of my parentheses. So this gives me 14x minus 14 greater than or equal to negative 42 plus 7x plus 14. Next step is to add like terms on each side. So 14x minus 14 is greater than or equal to negative 42 plus 14 would give us a negative 28 plus 7x. Then we get all of our x's to one side. So I'm going to keep my x's positive. So I'm going to subtract 7x on both sides and add 14 both sides. And now I'm left with 7x is greater than or equal to a negative 14. Last step, divide by 7. And I have x is greater than or equal to a negative 2. To graph it on a number line, we have negative 2 here. We have a filled in circle because it can equal negative 2. Greater than means it goes to the right. And our last question. Here we need to solve this and then graph it on a number line. So I'm going to distribute the 11. So I have 88 is greater than or equal to negative 33 plus 11x plus 88. So if I subtract 88 on both sides, I now have 0 is less than or equal to negative 33 plus 11x. I'm going to add 33 to both sides. So now I have 33 is greater than or equal to 11x. Get x by itself, I divide by 11, and I would have x is less than or equal to 3. Now you might say, why did I switch the sign? I actually didn't switch the sign. I just flipped everything. So I'm just reading it from right to left. So x is less than or equal to 30, less than or equal to 3. So on a number line here, I would have 3 here. Filled in circle because it can equal 3. Less than means it goes to the left. So that is our lesson on solving multi-step inequalities.